Your problems might be worth more than you think. Yes, your problems. There is a $1 million business idea hiding in your life right now. What's even crazier, this business idea is hiding in a problem that you've already solved. And there's a good chance you're completely ignoring it. Not because it requires money to start, or investors, or employees. No. And besides, you can launch this specific business with $0 and start earning from it. Think about that. This is the business I am talking about. Solve your problems and sell the solution. In this video, I'm going to discuss why this business idea has been booming over the last few years and the data behind people making over $1 million every year from it. I'll also talk about how you can be able to identify the problems in your life that you've already solved to be able to use for this business. Literally, I will talk about everything from start to finish. Again, this video, you would want to watch it entirely if you want to get anything out of it. So first, before I talk about the data and how you can start building this business from start to finish, why am I saying solve your problems and sell the solution? Why am I saying that? Well, at some point in your life, you struggled with something. Who hasn't, right? Let's say you figured out to do one of the following. You got out of debt, or prepare healthy meals cheaply, or become more productive. Or let's say you figured out how to study while working full time. Or let's say you fixed some incredibly mundane problem. If so, excellent. It's highly likely that in attempting to figure out that problem in your life, you were forced to acquire knowledge. You experimented. You made mistakes. You figured out what worked. You compressed months or even years of trial and error into something another person can learn faster. See, when you solve a problem, you don't just remove the problem, you acquire a skill. See, here's the thing. When most people solve a problem, they just move on. They assume that once the problem disappears, the value of that experience disappears with it. However, the solution that you've discovered may be valuable to many people around the world who are experiencing the same struggle that you had. So it is valuable because most of those people that are experiencing the same struggles are standing on the other side of the same bridge that you've crossed before. So the bridge itself can become the business. And by the way, I'm going to link down a link to 50 problems, life problems that you can be able to download. I'll leave a link down below that can jog your mind to a similar problem that you had in your past that can maybe is adjacent or related to that you can be able to start and build your business around. It sounds simple, right? Who would have thought that your problems had value, right? We try to avoid problems. Well, at least I do at all costs. However, once you understand what's happening in the economy today, you will start to see problems in an entirely different light. See, your ordinary skills, because if you solve a problem, you get a skill from it, are tied to a painful problem and dispensed over an internet scale distribution can create economically extraordinary results. And there's an entire class of business emerging from this. Just one person solving one pain problem over the internet. And that's what I call the one-person skill business. Over the past decade, I've seen this business idea emerge over the internet. And I couldn't really put it into words or see books or other people talking about it. And it is that any idea, however mundane it is, any skill, however mundane it is, any skill that you get from any problem, however mundane it is, as long as it's tied to a market demand, that is a problem that is available on the internet that people want solved, you can be able to make enormous financial gains from it. The question now is not what business should I do, it is what problem can I solve? That is the question now. That is the new economy. Because once the value exists, you can build a business around it. The business is just the simple part. Like once there's value, a genuine value, you can be able to build a business around it. And because this new shift in the economy is making that possible, that is why I started this channel. Not only to highlight the change that has happened in the economy, but also show in a step-by-step way how everyday people can be able to start a business like this and be able to be, economically sovereign. And so in this channel, not only do I talk about the economic philosophy of what's happening, but also the business idea, the business approach that goes along with it. It doesn't matter if you know anything about business. See, business is a collection of skills. And skills are anything that can be teachable or learnable, right? You can teach them or you can learn them. Selling is a skill. Writing is a skill. Content creation is a skill. Product creation is a skill. Marketing is a skill. Speaking on camera is a skill. Like I said, business itself is simply a collection of learnable skills. So why did I title this video The $1 Million Business Idea? See, I titled it that way, not because I'm promising $1 million. I'm not. Although show you people making over $1 million year over year in this business, increasingly actually, the point is to show you how radical the mathematics changes if you attach a painful problem that you've solved in your life to an internet scale distribution. Case in point, let's say you have a $100 solution and you've solved it 10,000 times, meaning you solved it for 10,000 people. That is equal to $1 million in revenue. Simple, right? There are roughly 6 billion people who have access to the internet. You don't need everybody. You don't need 1% of the internet. You don't even need 1% of 1% of the internet. You just need a tiny group of the right people who care deeply about a problem you know how to solve. That is it. This is data from the US Census Bureau that shows that one person businesses outpacing by 2 to 1 employer businesses over the last few years. And this other graph is the internal data from the payment processor Stripe. Stripe is a huge payment processor. It's revealed that the earnings of one person businesses has increased dramatically over the past few years. The share of $1 million one person businesses have increased fivefold just over the last 6 years. All right, enough convincing. Let's get into the business. First, how do you start a business? Well, first you have to start the problem. What problem do we solve? What problem do we start with? That's a good question. So number one, it starts how to get your problem is you have to start with your story. You gain skills from solving your problems in your life. Your life story is a laboratory for discovering value. So start with your story. What frustrated you? What did you struggle to understand in your life? What took you years to figure out? What transformation have you gone through? What mistakes have taught you something? What can you do now easily that your former self found very difficult? And before I go further, I want to say this. Not every problem is valued by the market. A solved problem doesn't mean a market opportunity. What do I mean by this? You cannot simply solve any problem and expect people to pay you for it. The market does not reward effort, it rewards useful outcomes. You can spend years becoming incredible at something that the market won't pay you for. So we have to make a distinction, meaning we have to separate personal value from market value. A problem becomes economically viable if people experience it, care about solving it, value the outcome, are willing or able to exchange something for that solution, meaning money, and you can communicate the before and after results to potential clients. Very important. Two, after discovering these, remember, these problems, I'm going to link down 50, problem ideas that you can jog your mind to the things that happened in your life that you've gone through, that you've overcame, and it might jog your mind to a related problem that you can. So go to the link and after this video to be able to kind of access that and see for yourself. Okay. Two, you have to specialize, meaning you have to refine that idea, that problem to a specific solution in the market. So your original problem doesn't have to look like a business, but the solution has to be adjusted towards a market demand. For example, let's say you got out of debt. Well, that's a problem. That's a personal problem. A market adjusted viable business idea could be helping young people build a system for eliminating consumer debt. So that balance matters, right? You don't want to be too broad, meaning you just, I'm here to solve debt. No, that's too broad. You want to be specific than that. And on the other side, you don't want to be too narrow where you almost get nobody because the problem is extremely niched. But the good thing is that the internet is large enough that it can be able to accommodate you. So the balance is very easy to make, okay? So in essence, you should have what I call skill market fit, meaning your skills should be adjusted enough where you're not too broad, you're not too narrow, and kind of get that fit. So this is the simple framework for specialization. Skill plus person plus problem plus approach. For example, fitness is a skill. Busy parents is a person that you're targeting. Losing weight is a problem you're attempting to solve for people. And then 20-minute workouts is the approach that you're going to use to be able to get people the solution to that problem. Suddenly, that mundane problem has become commercially viable because the economy, there's the new shift in the economy that is allowing for these things, these niche ideas, these niche things that can be able to scale very effectively and be able to give you good economic gains. So you don't have to change who you are. You just have to translate what you know in a form that the market understands. So this is the bigger picture. Your past problem has a solution you came up with to be able to overcome that problem. And so by doing that, you've acquired skills. And those skills can be turned into a specialized skill, meaning you adjust it to fit a real demand, a painful problem in the marketplace. And then through that, you can be able to create a valuable product. All right. So the next step in our journey is to make it visible. Now that you've highlighted the problem and the skill that you've acquired, you have to make it visible. You don't want to become incredibly valuable at doing something and make nothing. Why? Because nobody knows about it. Reminder, the world never rewards value it never sees. Creation without distribution is invisible. Distribution without creation is empty. You need both. This is why the internet matters so much. The internet is the largest marketplace ever built. In the past, your customers had to be near you, your audience had to be reachable. So the market now is not defined by where you live, but by who wants to buy what you know or the problem you know how to solve. Therefore, you just have to become discoverable, not famous. This is where most people get confused. They hear post online and think, I don't want to become an influencer. Neither do I. That's not the objective. So, this is how you do it. Start with one platform, write, record, teach, explain, create, demonstrate, share what you're learning, show how you think. Don't worry about being on every platform at once. Pick one, learn it, expand later. Besides, give away free value. Give away more than it feels comfortable. Teach people, help people, explain things, answer questions, give away genuinely useful information. Because why? When somebody makes a purchase from you, they are making a prediction. Can this person help me? I believe so. That's why I'm buying from him or her. See, the free value gives them evidence. Every useful piece of content reduces uncertainty. Every successful customer reduces uncertainty further. Every useful interaction compounds reputation. This is what I think of as the economics of trust, because trust reduces the friction between value creation and value exchange. So don't constantly ask people to believe that you're good. Show them you are good. Make your work the evidence. As far as starting goes, meaning starting this business, I would say start while still employed. If you have a job right now, just start while you're still employed. That's why this business idea is so unusually viable and possible for literally everybody. Because you don't have to make a dramatic leap. Don't quit your job tomorrow. Start with a few hours. 2 hours every week can be enough to begin studying the problem, improving your skill around it, posting about it, and building an offer. The point isn't that 2 hours guarantees success. No. The point is that the minimum viable commitment is surprisingly small. You can experiment while maintaining your existing income. Your first attempt can fail. You can try again. Your first product can be terrible. You improve it. Your first posts can get no attention. You keep learning. This is why people shouldn't think of this as this enormous, irreversible bet. Think of it in terms of small, recoverable bets. The cost to experiment via the internet is $0. Use that. All right. Next step, after making your value visible to people, you have to multiply that value. Archimedes once said, give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth. See, creating value gets you into the game. Leverage changes dramatically the economics of the game. Imagine you're an excellent consultant. You work 1 hour, you get one customer, you receive one payment. You work another hour, you get another payment. That's useful, but it's too linear. Eventually, you will run out of hours. Everybody does. We all have the same amount of 24 hours in a day. You cannot store time. You cannot manufacture another Tuesday. You cannot invest 10,000 hours today to gain 20,000 tomorrow. This is why exchanging more and more time for money is a bad wealth building equation. This is the case for traditional jobs. You cannot get rich if your input is closely tied to your output. Naval Ravikant. So you want outsized outputs to every input effort you make to doing something, right? That's what you want. So meaning you need a leverage mechanism to be able to execute to get you there, because you can't get there by just having that linear input output equation where you put in X, you get Y. You put in X number of hours, you get paid this number of dollars. At least if you want economic freedom. Therefore, to do this, you need to productize. What do I mean by that? So I mean that you have to take something you know how to do repeatedly and turn it into something reproducible, meaning a skill can be distilled into a framework, a template, a course, a book, a software, a membership, a methodology, a licensing system, intellectual property, you name it. The knowledge remains with you. But now the delivery mechanism can work without requiring the same amount of your hours, your physical hours. Products are value that never clocks out. You sleep, the product exists. You travel, the product exists. You're sick, the product exists. You serve another customer, the product still exists. So this is the crucial economic transition. Stop asking how much work you can do. Start asking how you can make each unit of your work produce more value. That is leverage. That is how you become financially sovereign. This isn't about laziness. It isn't about avoiding work. In fact, building something valuable requires enormous effort. Instead of repeatedly performing the same unit of labor, you increasingly perform work that creates assets. Content is an asset. Reputation is an asset. Intellectual property is an asset. Software is an asset. Systems are an asset. Products are assets. An audience can become an asset. Each can continue producing value after your initial hours of work that you put in to be able to create it. The goal isn't more work. The goal is to extend your value beyond your physical hours. Another point, use AI as leverage, not identity, not your business identity. AI makes this business model very viable, but AI itself isn't a competitive advantage, right? AI is a commodity, meaning everybody is increasingly having access to it. And so it's like, it's with everybody, right? So it's not really a competitive advantage. That's not how you are supposed to see it as, at least, because commodities don't create differentiation. So use AI to automate repetitive work, researching, prototyping, organizing information, analyzing feedback, improving your systems, or increasing your output. Don't outsource the thing that makes your business hard to replace in the first place. That is your judgment, your taste, your experience, your perspective, your relationship with the customer. Let machines multiply the human, not replace the human. Okay? All right. And the final step is to realize your value. Now, if you've created a product from a problem you've solved before, you made it visible to people, and you multiplied it, right, through leverage using the internet and productizing, now you can reap your benefits in the form of realizing your value. This brings me to the reason why I actually care about this business idea, this business reality, this new business reality in the first place. Money isn't the ultimate objective. It is stored optionality. It allows you to say, yes, no, not yet. I'm leaving. I'm starting. I'm taking a year off. I'm working on this instead. Wealth increases your ability to choose. And perhaps the greatest purchase is something that money can't manufacture, which is time. We all have the same amount of 24 hours. You cannot store yesterday. You cannot buy another childhood. You cannot reproduce your 20s. You cannot manufacture another year. Time is the scarcest resource because it cannot be replenished, which is why I believe the greatest dividend of wealth is uncompelled time, the freedom to act from desire rather than necessity. We are living in this universe for a fraction of time in the time scale of time. So it's so essential to use it to do the things that you want to do. That's what I'm ultimately interested in. Not entrepreneurship for entrepreneurship's sake, not becoming a CEO, not telling everybody to quit their jobs. No. I want people to seek autonomy, ownership, meaningful work, flexibility, optionality, the ability to direct more of your finite life towards things you actually believe matter. That is what this business provides. The point of wealth isn't about escaping work. It's about escaping compulsory work. Work on things because you choose them. Build things because they matter to you. Spend time with people because you want to. Pursue ideas because you're curious. Help people because you can. Build a life you don't need to escape from. Design work around life instead of continually designing life around work. So this is the entire philosophy that I'm talking about, the economic philosophy, new reality that we're living in, the one-person skill business today. And I call this Skillonomics. It's actually the name of my newsletter. And if you want to know about my newsletter, it's down below. You can subscribe for free, and I send out weekly newsletters. But Skillonomics is just the economic reality of today, the economics of skills, meaning skills are the main assets of this new economy because your skills they're yours, they are you, they are uniquely yours. So they cannot be replaced, right? And you can use those skills to become sovereign, meaning you can direct value, economic value by yourself. You're not going to be outsourced. You're not going to be replaced because you control, you create, you are the value creator. right? You have a very unique set of skills that cannot be replaced by a job because of automation or anything like that. So if I'm going to compress everything, this is what it'll look like. So your life exposes you to problems. Solving those problems develops skills. Market demand refines those skills. Specialization makes you difficult to substitute. Your specialized skill creates valuable products. The internet multiplies those products. Leverage decouples output from time. Value becomes capital. Capital builds optionality, and optionality returns control of your time. That is the 1% skill business. That is skillonomics. And it begins somewhere less glamorous than most people expect, a problem. All right, and now here's where you start. And so if you have any questions, link it down below in the comments. I will be there to reply to any questions that you have. I have a link down to 50 problems that can jog your mind along the things that you could possibly start a business around. So subscribe to this channel, like this video if this resonates with you, if you find any value in it. And there's going to be enormous value coming along the pipeline that you do not want to miss. And subscribe to the newsletter while you're at it. Once you go to download that 50 problem idea PDF. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. And by the way, I'll be releasing 2 videos a week, and you don't want to miss those. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.